Good evening and happy Wednesday. And across Central Oregon, we are under tons of sunshine. This warming trend is not over yet. And by tomorrow, most of our Tri County area is going to be topping out in the 70s. So pleasantly warmer across Central Oregon with no rain in sight really until we get to this weekend. But we're not done with the impacts. We're not done with the changes. In fact, we are right in the thick of prescribed burn season. It feels like it, and we see it because each day we have different smoke plumes coming up over parts of Central Oregon, and each one of those prescribed burns is indeed putting out smoke. And so for the second morning in a row, we woke up to some hazardous air quality in the Greater Sisters area. We're going to talk about all that, how it's been impacting us, what happens next, and how the changes are really going to impact us through the next several days. All that and more coming up in the next several minutes. But this is a deep dive into your most reliable forecast, and we are starting off with sunshine across the high desert. And most of these cameras show that there is just a little bit of haze. We don't see any smoke plumes at the moment, but there is one that was a new one. And that is just to the west and southwest of Bend. This is the Tiddlywinks prescribed burn, and it was scheduled to start up this morning. They did, in fact, go ahead and start that, and you can actually see that prescribed burn. If you look to the middle of this picture and then go all the way to the right, that's where it is. Now, outside of that, we also have quite a bit of smoke over the surface because of this prescribed burn, and this is going to be what impacts our air quality tonight in Bend and other parts of Central Oregon. Now, I already mentioned that earlier today we started off with hazardous air quality just like we did yesterday morning, and that's because of the prescribed burn that's just outside of Sisters where you see those white dots. Each one of those white dots is another area that has a prescribed burn. But here through the overnight hours, that smoke settled over parts of Central Oregon. In fact, half of Jefferson County and Sisters had either poor or hazardous air quality. And then by this evening, we're sitting mostly in the green with a little bit of yellow down towards La Pine. And this is mostly because of other prescribed burns. In fact, winds are coming out of the north for the most part across Central Oregon. That's actually pushing some of that smoke that was from that fire that's just to the southwest of Bend right down the 97 corridor and into La Pine. But that smoke has been elevated. It's been super high in the atmosphere, not really close to the surface. Now here through the overnight hours, as temperatures drop, our vertical column is going to start to compress. And that happens with cooling. And also the inverse happens with warming. When we warm up, the vertical column expands. And that's why that smoke lifts up pretty early during the day. But across Central Oregon, we are expecting some areas of just poor air quality by tomorrow morning. And that's because of these prescribed burns. So not only did we just have the one that was just outside of Bend, just to the west of Bend, we still have the one that's just to the east of La Pine. Still have another one towards Pine Mountain, and there is that cluster of burns that was right around Sisters, and there's one just north, just above the Lake Billy Chinook, and that one is actually started today earlier as well, and I called up to the fire management team of the Warm Springs reservation, and they were telling me that that one was expected to be 1,000 to 2,000 acres. Now, in that area, it's mostly grass and small shrubbery, and it's not the dense forests, but with that prescribed burn, that put up a lot of smoke as well. And when we look at some of the real-time sensors, just to clarify this, what I was just showing you was the E-Space and the DEQ map, and the DEQ is the hourly average, so that one takes the longest to catch up with what's actually happening. So if smoke just pushes through real quick, it's not really going to show up on that one, but that is what the DEQ's recommendations are based off of. The eSpace Labs monitoring network, those are 15-minute averages, so it's still an average of a time span, but it is more frequently coming in, and so we see that one as well. But this one, the Purple Air quality monitoring network, that one is all real-time sensors, and so we're actually showing some reduced and even poor air quality in southern Deschutes County, mostly because as we've had these prescribed burns, winds are out of the north and the northeast, and that's just pushing that smoke down the 97 corridor. And so there is a little pocket between Sun River and La Pine where we have some reduced and even poor air quality once you're getting up in the higher elevations. And so it's something we're going to continue to track with you. But the good news is that as winds taper off later tonight, we're not expecting the winds to stay out of the north. They're going to swing around to the south. And so that is going to do a couple things. Number one, where we do have some of that smoke still impacting us, it's going to shift it around a little bit more. But also, as winds become a gentle breeze and the temperatures drop, the atmosphere compresses, and that pushes a lot of that smoke closer to the surface. So we are going to wake up tomorrow morning with more parts of Central Oregon having that poor air quality, not just the Greater Sisters area and the western Jefferson County like we've had the last couple of mornings. Right now, roads, dry. We don't even see much in the way of reduced visibility because of this smoke, this haze, the smoke from prescribed burns. Even up in the passes, dry roads, and they're going to stay dry really because our best chance of rain holds off until Sunday and Monday. Even at that, just some scattered showers, not everybody getting wet. So through the overnight hours, we stay clear. By tomorrow, it starts off chilly, temperatures warm through the 60s and into the 70s with some PM clouds expected. As of right now, very little in the way of cloud cover. In this satellite and radar imagery, we do have radar on there, and it's not showing any rain anywhere near us. With the satellite imagery, it's a blend of visible satellite and infrared satellite. The difference is visible is what you see, but once the sun goes down, that's not good anymore, obviously, because it's really hard for the satellites to see anything at night from visible band. But the infrared band actually shows the temperature of the top of the clouds. And so there's a blend right here, mostly because as the sun goes down, we still need to be able to see something. So when we just focus on infrared satellite imagery and look at the bigger picture, this one has an enhancement on it to really pull out those colder cloud tops. The brighter colors is what you would see. In fact, if we go ahead and pan over, move it over towards New York, where there is some weather that's pushing through, you can see those brighter colors, and even where there are some thunderstorms in other parts of the country. So that's what we use this for. And at the moment, we don't have anything over Central Oregon that's any cause for concern. In fact, through the Pacific Northwest, we just have some clouds, and there's very little in the way of precipitation at all. Now, there is a system that's offshore, but between us and that system, a broad ridge of high pressure. Those white lines that you see all over the map, those are what we call isobars, or constant lines of pressure, or lines of constant pressure, I should say. And when they're pretty spread out like they are right now, we just have a light breeze. Now, it has been picking up at times, but overall, mostly just a light breeze. And there is a slot of very dry air right over the Pacific Northwest, not just Central Oregon. Everything you see on this one that's yellow, that's a very dry air mass. And that air mass is sticking around with us because of the high pressure that's been building into the Pacific Northwest through the last couple of days. So dry air, winds getting a little breezy at times each afternoon. Yeah, this is shaping up to be a gorgeous wrap up for the work week going into the weekend, but we still have some of that smoke that we're going to be dealing with because of prescribed burns. Now, your forecast model shows that we stay clear tonight, have plenty of sunshine tomorrow with some PM clouds, and then by the time we get to Friday, some PM clouds are expected, but the showers and that potential of thunderstorm activity stays on the other side of the cascade. So with this high resolution forecast model, we're staying dry all the way through Friday, and it's not until this weekend that we start to see that next chance of some showers. Even at that, doesn't look too good, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here through the next couple of minutes. But as of right now, it's extremely dry. Not critically dry, but still percentage-wise, 20s, it's very dry. Now, in the last 24 hours, temperatures topped out mostly in the 60s with a few 50s and 70s out there. As of right now, we're sitting in the 60s, a couple spots are in the 50s, and it's still 72 in a warm spring. So not too far off from that high temperature for today. And this is right on target with the forecast. So currently we're running between 2 and 8 degrees warmer than it was 24 hours ago. And this warm up took a little bit to really show up on this graphic, but we finally got there. And we finally have a little bit more warming through the day tomorrow. That's going to put our temperatures instead of 60s into the 70s. So a chilly night is expected. And then we warm up even more tomorrow. In fact, when we look at a different forecast model, this one really focuses on temperatures and what we're seeing at the surface. Because of a ridge of high pressure really building into the Pacific Northwest, that's just leaving us under tons of sunshine, allowing for even more warming. And this warm air comes from the Pacific Ocean right into the Pacific Northwest, stays with us for a couple of days. Now, by Friday, we're tracking two different waves of moisture. The first one coming with a cold front that's going to skirt through the area. The second one is coming from further to our south. That one actually brings a chance of some showers by Saturday. Now, it's not going to be super widespread. Some of us don't even get wet, but some sprinkles are going to be possible by Sunday and Monday, a better chance of rain. So between now and Saturday at 11 p.m., just some showers. Most of the precipitation happens on the other side of the Cascades, even the potential of some thunderstorm activity. But look at this. It barely puts a damper on those temperatures. Highs in the 70s through this 5-day planner. So this entire temperature trend keeps our highs well above average for this time of the year. And with temperatures in the 70s for the whole planner like this, in fact, through the whole 7-day planner, it's that time of the year where I bring this up. Temperatures inside those vehicles get really hot really quickly. Now, it's not as extreme as if our temperatures were topping out in the 90s or triple digits, which we could get to later on this year. But either way, 70s still hold the similar problem where in just 10 minutes, 70 degrees is 89 inside that car with the windows rolled up. In 30 minutes, it can be into the triple digits when temperatures are only topping out in the 70s. So make sure you check the back seat before you leave the car. Don't leave any fur babies or human babies in there because it gets really hot really quickly. Now, let's get back to your forecast because this is the typical forecast model we use on air every night, and it does show that we are looking at more clouds each day, Thursday and Friday. It also shows, just like that high-resolution forecast model, that some sprinkles are going to be possible Saturday. Notice the emphasis on the word some. The better chance of rain holds off until Sunday and Monday with scattered showers expected. But to be able to see that, we have to look at a long-range forecast model. Just because the one that I had just doesn't go out that far. So we use the GFS. And the GFS is an American model run by NOAA. And it shows those in and out clouds each day. It also shows that by the time we get to Saturday, we have a chance of some showers. This one actually holds on to a better chance of PM rain, even the potential of some lightning as we go through Saturday afternoon and evening. And then it also shows some showers by Sunday and then again on Monday. And so we're going to go through a little stretch of an unsettled weather pattern. Not everybody gets wet. Some of us do, and there's a low chance of some lightning. By Tuesday, back to more sunshine. By Wednesday, tons of sunshine expected. And with that comes roller coaster temperatures. So when it comes to precipitation between now and 11 p.m. On Saturday, we're just looking at some light showers. And remember, I just showed you several different forecast models, and a couple of them are different, show differences when it comes to this weekend getting into Monday. We really wouldn't typically see them start to line up until we get closer to the weekend. So by the time we get to Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and Monday should really shape up. But at this point, it looks like some sprinkles late Saturday, then Sunday and Monday, some showers, maybe even the potential of some thunderstorms. And look at this. We even have a chance of some mountain snow in the Cascades of southern Oregon. Not much, not enough to get excited about, but it just shows the dynamics of this system. And when it comes to wind gusts, nothing impressive out there. We have gusts up to just shy of 20 miles per hour. So actual winds are more like 5 to 15 miles per hour. Now, here through the next couple of hours, we're still expecting some of those winds to become breezy before they start to taper off. When they taper off, they swing around to the southwest. That's going to push more of that smoke through central Oregon, but we also have to remember, just like the last couple of mornings, as winds become a gentle breeze and that atmosphere compresses because of the cooling temperatures, that smoke is going to get trapped near the surface. Through the day tomorrow, winds do not pick up much at all. Temperatures will, but winds won't. And the two are usually what clears out the area. So we're going to see that smoke pick up off the surface, but it's not going to go too far around. We're actually looking at stagnant conditions here through the next couple of days. And so that means times of just poor air quality are expected. Now, there is not an air stagnation advisory or an air quality alert at this time at all. This is just what I'm seeing. So for tonight, expect 30s. A couple spots get closer freezing, very little cloud cover, and it's mostly sunny through Thursday. More 70s, just some 60s expected. And your 7-day planner keeps that smoke in the forecast as long as prescribed burns continue, really until it clears out. Now, Sunday and Monday could help with that clearing if these showers actually come to fruition. But either way, we're looking at temperatures warming well into the 70s and staying well into the 70s. Some ups and downs in temperatures are expected, and that correlates with when we have our chances of precipitation. But for the most part, it is going to get breezy at times. We are looking at some showers Sunday and Monday, maybe some sprinkles on Saturday. And like we saw with the GFS, that one actually had showers with the chance of thunderstorms on Saturday. But I think it's mostly going to be Sunday and Monday when it comes to precipitation for Central Oregon. So your weather headlines for this Wednesday, April the 29th, include more sunshine and more warming and 70s. Now, very nice and very dry conditions are expected with a light breeze. Now, some poor air quality is in the planner from prescribed burns. And as of right now, there's just no precipitation in sight for Central Oregon. Barely even looking at some clouds. For the rest of the Pacific Northwest, the closest showers are over Idaho, a little bit over eastern Washington and eastern Oregon, but for the most part, there's not much going on out there. So that is the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. We'll have the latest headlines and your most reliable forecasts. See you then.